if the Texans would have signed D Hop, how would you have viewed this team and this wide receiver group?
If the Texans signed D Hop,
Yes.
ooh, that's interesting because they have Robert Woods too, and then you have two kind of receiver. What Robert Woods is like 30. You have two
30-year-olds, yeah.
Yeah, two 30-year-old receivers who are supposed to be your top guys. I wouldn't view it honestly as optimistically as I look at the Titans. He would certainly make them a lot better, and the return to Houston that would be great and all. But it would be much better. D Hop, I think, still has a lot left in the tank, and we talked about Tank Dell and whatnot. But I think, just in terms of where the Titans are at and what they needed, he moves the needle enough for them to compete with Jacksonville. Like with the Texans, like they're I don't know what you guys think, but like from my vantage point, like they're not going to compete for the division this year. Maybe 2024, like they have a lot of good young talent, but I just don't see it in this upcoming season, and so that's why I think it made more sense for him to go to kind of Tennessee than to come back to Houston because of how he moves the needle. And Tennessee is now in a position where they're competitive for a playoff spot. And if D-Hop went back to Houston, I still wouldn't say that they're a playoff team. And so that's kind of how I would answer that question.
Okay.
Let me just say, because I mean, most people know how I feel about this, but I had to rebut this. So I actually do not find Tennessee to be that great right now. I think their line is terrible. And so when, yes, D-Hop went to Tennessee, but that line didn't get any better. And they lost their right tackle, who was really the only decent piece on that line. Dillard is basically, in my opinion, trash. I mean, he's not a starter left tackle, in my opinion. So D-Hop is a good talent. Don't get me wrong. He's a great talent. I'm wearing his freaking jersey, and I got another jersey over there. Love D-Hop. But I don't think that line is going to allow him to get anything. I mean, the line was terrible last year, and it didn't get better this year. I think if D-Hop came to Houston, I'm not saying that we would be a playoff team, but I think our line would be better. We surely invested a hell of a lot in our line, $66 million more than any other NFL team. So we should have a top 10 line. So I would think that D-Hop would actually get more production if he came to Houston than Tennessee. I said yesterday that I think he would get right around like 700 yards and 4 or 5 touchdowns in Tennessee. That's where I think he's going to be capped at, really. I think if he came to Houston, he's a 1,000-yard receiver. Not saying that we were a playoff team, but he would get his 1,000 yards and probably 7 TDs or so. So better than Tennessee. But Tennessee, I understand that, you have Derrick Henry, but he's aging. He's almost 30 years old. You've got Ryan Tannehill, but he's 35. You got a line that destroyed Ryan Tannehill last year, and you got a line that helped lead to the most fumbles from a running back in the league with Derrick Henry. So I'm not that high on the Titans, but I do think if Hopkins came to Houston, we would have been a better team.
This is Crenshaw, Briggs, and VT. We want the touchdown. We not trying to go for 3. And it's best if you get up out the street, cause them bulls out the pen and they about to stampede.